to the video walkthrough for the Boca posts. So when you get your link, you're going to be directed to this page. You just hit use template and that will bring you into your own Canva account. And once you're here, you are ready to go. You just might want to go over to file and make a copy just so that you have the master on hand if you ever take a few left turns or make a few mistakes and you cannot remember what the file looked like originally. This way you have it in your on your home page of Canva and you never have to worry about re-downloading the file again or going through that whole process. So file, make a copy, and then once you've done that, you're ready to upload all of your own listing images. So uploads, upload an image or video, locate your listing photos, upload them, and then they're going to look like this. And then you can just start to plug and play. So you can grab one of your images, hover it over the image box that's currently there, and then just release the click on your mouse and it will change the photo to your own. And if you're not happy with the positioning of the photo in the box, you double click and then you can move it around in the image box. Anything is editable on these templates, so you can actually make this the entire box if you'd want. If you want to show more of the image itself, you can leave it as is. If you want to change the color of the text, just be sure to highlight one word and then the other, or it'll change it'll change both to one color and then you won't have this double color effect. You can change the font if you're not happy with the font by heading over to the font box and choosing any font that you'd like, or your brand fonts, or anything that you want. These shapes have been created outside of Canva and then uploaded into Canva, so they require a little bit of finesse in order to change. So just make sure that the shape is highlighted, head over to Effects, and then we like to use Color Mix because it's really simple to just change the base color. So if you don't want the red and you want something like green, or let's say your color is brown, I'm going to choose orange. And then you can actually double click on that and change the hue to kind of make it look more brown, and then bring down the saturation and that would be more of a brown color. So that's a perfect example of how to change the color. You can also go to adjust and then change the tint, and that will actually, you have some variation there, saturation and contrast. And if you just play around with these a bit, you have a lot of control over, quite a bit of control over what the color is going to be. Another option would be to just bring it back down. Another option would be to use one of the shapes. So we've actually provided a folder for you in the zip file that has all of the shapes included. So what you can do is you can upload all of those shapes into Canva and it'll look like this. And then if you just want to change the color of one of these shapes, or you want to change the shape itself, don't delete this box, because if you delete the box, all the effects that we've done, you can see that there's some transparency and we've done a few more adjustments. You can see these have all been altered. If you don't want this effect to be lost, then just select the box and then take the shape that you'd like to use and drop it into the box. That way, any shape that you place into the box will have the effects placed on it. And then you can just move around the shape. Okay, now if you're finding that that's happening, what Canva's wanting to do, because this is an image, is trying to replace this image box. So just lock it, and then you can move your own images, your other images around. So that's what I would do for that. Now obviously I need to change this to a color that you can see. So that's how I would change this. And that way it's still super easy and doesn't take you a lot of time, but you've changed the shape to suit your needs. Okay, and same thing for this. You can change the font if you'd like. If you're finding that this is too long of a description, like your description is longer and it's not fitting nicely in this box, you can always head over to spacing and then change the spacing between the images to give yourself more room. If you need less room, you can increase the spacing. It's a really good little trick. This is a circular frame, so again what you want to do is head over to a photo that you might want to use and just drag it over. You don't want to delete this or you're going to lose the circle effect. Let's drag it over to what you want it to look like. These images, again, you can just choose another shape color that you want to use, or you can head over to effects and try to play around with it that way. Okay, so this photo was brought right to the edge so that we could see her, but if you bring in a photo, you can play around with the spacing of that. Anything can be changed, so instead of behind the scenes, another option would be open house, just sold. You can use this for anything you'd like. This is an image file that you'll receive. It looks like this. If you don't like this quote box, you can always change it by heading over to Elements and typing in quote, and then you can find your own that you'd like. And again, if you need to change this because it's an image file, you would head over to Effects, choose one that you like, and use it there. Any colors can be changed that are background colors, so if you want to change the background of this, you just make sure that it's highlighted, and then you can change it to whatever you'd like. Open house. Again, these do have transparencies on them. We have done some adjustments, so you can see that it kind of looks like it's transparent image. So if you like that effect, you just take your photo and you drop it. Let me choose a different photo so you can see. You take your photo and you drop it in, and it will adopt the same effects. If you don't like that effect, delete it and bring in your own box, and then from the corner you can resize it, and that way it won't have any transparency. Okay, so here is one where we've done, this is like a lifestyle post. So if you want to show you and your family, you can just pop in the photo here, bring in this, and that's what that would look like. So it doesn't have to be as dramatic as the one that we used. I just really liked this because she looked like a powerful businesswoman, and hey, this is what I do on Sundays. But if you just want to show something more quaint, it still works really, really well. And then you just want to maybe change the colors to suit your brand or your needs. But it still works really well. It doesn't have to be this dramatic pose. This would just be a way to highlight a really gorgeous aspect of the home. So I wanted there to be some sort of, just to move away from the just listed and the just sold and give you an option of, you can do this too. You can showcase a really beautiful aspect of the home and show people, hey, this is Kitchen Envy. This looks gorgeous. Wouldn't you love to live here? So just one room of the house rather than the whole house. This is a quote template. You can use it for whatever you want. You could even use this for testimonials as well. This is a shape that we use, but if it doesn't match your needs, you can always choose one of the shapes that's provided and just bring it into the box. Is that right? Yeah, okay. So what we've done is we've actually put that shape already having the transparency on it. So if you bring in a new shape, what you're going to have to do is just bring the transparency right down. Okay. So there we go. This is where your company would go, your URL. And then this is just one for a blog post, but again, you can use it for anything. But if it is a blog post, you can change, obviously, the writing here. And if it's a longer blog post, head over to spacing and change the letter spacing and the line height. So if you have 2 lines, you can also play with the line height and bring that in. And I think that's it. I think that you're good to go. You can use this for just sold, just listed, open house. This is actually 2 different shapes, so you're going to want to pay attention to that. So if you do want to bring in a new shape, you can either delete this altogether and just leave one, or you can bring in a whole new shape, and you're going to have to play around with how you like it to look. The fun thing about this particular template is the shapes really, you can make it your own with just changing the shapes around. So that's a lot of fun. If you want some transparency here, you just head over to the transparency tab, and then you can bring things down. So you can bring this one down as well. You can just make it so you can see a little bit of the house as well. When you're happy with how everything looks, you go to download, make sure that PNG is selected, and then you can hit all 10 pages, or you can select whatever page you just made and download that on its own. And once it has been downloaded, you're going to have a zip file, and you can go ahead and unzip that file the way that you normally do and send it to yourself however you normally would send images to yourself to post on Instagram. So AirDrop, Google Drive, Dropbox, or even emailing them to yourself works. And that's it. I hope that this was helpful, and if you need any more help, please head over to 4thstreetcreative.com/tutorials for our full resource library. Happy designing!